As we age, there's something so special about the way we begin to see life differently. The hustle and rush of our younger years slow down, and we begin to focus on what really matters. The simple moments, the quiet joys, and the love that we nurture with our family and friends. It's amazing how, with time, we come to realize that it's not always the big, loud achievements that fill us up, but the quiet peace we find in ourselves and the bonds we create with those closest to us. We live in a world that constantly tells us to push forward, to achieve more, to strive for success. But with age, we begin to understand that there's so much wisdom in slowing down, in taking a moment to breathe, to reflect on where we've been and where we're going. Maybe it's looking at the way our body has changed over the years, or maybe it's the way we've learned to be kinder to ourselves. It's no longer about pushing ourselves to the limit. It's about finding balance. We start to realize that the love and care we show ourselves, the patience we have with our bodies, the compassion we extend to our minds, it all creates a life that is meaningful. Small acts of self-care, like taking time to rest, being mindful of our thoughts, and treating our bodies with kindness, slowly add up to something much bigger than we ever imagined. And it's in these moments that we find peace. But here's the thing, aging is inevitable. None of us can escape that fact. But how we choose to age, well, that's entirely in our hands. We can choose to age with grace, with pride, and with happiness. We can decide to approach our later years with a spirit of gratitude, appreciating what we have rather than dwelling on what we may have lost. As you walk through this stage of life, remember that it's okay to focus on what brings you joy. Whether it's in the time you spend with family, the moments of quiet reflection, or the love you give to others, every day holds a small treasure. And as we age, these treasures become more precious than ever before. I want you to think for a moment, what's one thing in your life that brings you joy? Is it a simple routine, like enjoying a cup of tea with a loved one? Or maybe it's the peace you find in taking a quiet walk in nature. These moments are yours to cherish, and they matter more than you may think. And as you continue to grow older, I hope you remember this. You are in control of how you live this chapter of your life. Your future is still full of possibility, full of potential for love, for joy, and for peace. The care you give yourself, the mindfulness you embrace, and the love you pour into your relationships, they're all investments in the kind of life you want to create. I'd love to know, what's been a lesson you've learned over the years that's made a difference in your life? What's one thing you do to stay connected to what matters most? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because your experience, your wisdom, could really help someone else who's walking the same path. As we grow older, we come to realize something really important. Our bodies are no longer what they once were. It can be a difficult reality to face, but it's also a reminder that we need to be kinder to ourselves. The years we've lived have shaped us, but they've also left their mark. Sometimes we feel aches and pains we didn't expect, or maybe we notice that energy doesn't come quite as easily as it used to. That's okay. It's all part of the journey. What's truly important now is how we treat our bodies, with love and care. It's not about pushing ourselves beyond our limits or comparing ourselves to the way we were when we were younger. It's about acknowledging that our bodies, with all their changes, still deserve our respect and care. This can mean different things for each of us, depending on our needs and limitations. It could be something as simple as stretching every morning to keep your muscles flexible. Or maybe it's about taking time each day to relax, allowing your mind and body the rest they deserve. The key here is to be kind to yourself. It's easy to feel frustrated when we can't do everything we used to do. But remember, this isn't about pushing for perfection. It's about creating a new routine that works for you, one that prioritizes what's best for your body and your mind. And sometimes that might just mean slowing down a little, accepting that it's okay to take it easy, to rest, and to give yourself the time you need to recharge. But here's something that's often overlooked. It's not just about physical care. but mental care as well. Our minds, just like our bodies, need attention. As we get older, it can be easy to feel disconnected from the world around us or perhaps even from ourselves. And yet, it's more important than ever to stay engaged, to keep our minds active, and to nourish our mental health. So how can we do this? Well, it could be as simple as picking up a new hobby, something you've always wanted to try, but never had the chance to. Whether it's reading, doing puzzles, painting, or even learning something new on the internet, keeping your mind active helps you stay sharp, and more importantly, it brings joy. You might find that something as simple as a new activity can reignite a spark within you, bringing back a sense of purpose and excitement. It's also important to nurture your emotional well-being. This could mean having meaningful conversations with friends and family, finding time for introspection, or even engaging in activities that make you laugh. Laughter, after all, is truly one of the best medicines. It lifts your spirits, strengthens your bond with others, and reminds you of the joy that can still be found in each day. You deserve to feel good, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Taking care of yourself isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. When you nurture your well-being, you're giving yourself the gift of a more fulfilling life. And this isn't something you have to do alone. Share your thoughts with loved ones. Reach out when you need help, and remember that your health, both physical and mental, is worth every effort. So, tell me, what are some small things you do every day to take care of yourself? Do you have any little routines that bring you comfort and peace? I'd love to hear what works for you and how you make self-care a part of your life. Share your experiences below, and let's continue to learn from each other. We often carry the weight of our family's past, sometimes feeling burdened by the choices our parents or ancestors made. You might find yourself thinking that things would have been different if they'd made different decisions. It's completely natural to feel frustrated at times, especially if those choices have affected your life in some way. But here's something important. Blaming our ancestors or parents doesn't change the past. It doesn't heal the wounds, and it doesn't bring back lost opportunities. Instead, it only holds us back and keeps us stuck in a cycle of negativity. Think about it. Every generation faces its own challenges, its own struggles, and its own limitations. Your parents and ancestors made the best decisions they could, based on what they knew at the time and the resources they had. Yes, they may have made mistakes, but so have we. It's part of being human. Holding on to resentment or blaming them for choices that didn't work out doesn't help anyone, especially not you. What if, instead of blaming, we chose gratitude? Gratitude for the sacrifices they made, for the lessons they taught us, even if those lessons came in the form of struggles. It's easy to focus on what went wrong, but take a moment to think about the positive things that have come from your family's history, the values they instilled in you, the resilience you've inherited, or even the small things they did right even when things were tough. When you choose gratitude over blame, you free yourself from the past and empower yourself to create a better future for yourself and those around you. You can break the cycle of negativity and be the one to set a different example for your children and future generations. This shift in perspective doesn't just benefit you. It teaches the younger generation the power of forgiveness and letting go. By choosing not to blame, you're showing them that it's okay to acknowledge imperfections and move forward with a positive mindset. Instead of holding on to anger or resentment, you can choose to lead by example and create a space of understanding, peace, and acceptance in your family. Do not speak ill of your spouse. When things get tough, it's so easy to start venting, especially about your spouse. Maybe you feel frustrated, hurt, or disappointed, and sometimes the easiest way to express those emotions is by speaking negatively about your partner. It might feel like an outlet, but here's the thing. Speaking ill of your spouse, especially in front of your children, does more harm than good. It's not just about the momentary relief you might feel. It's about the lasting impact on your family. Children are incredibly perceptive. They pick up on more than we think, and the things we say about each other in moments of anger or frustration can deeply affect them. When they hear negative comments about their parent, it can alter their perception of relationships. They might start to question trust, respect, and love within their own relationships in the future. And as they grow, they might even carry those negative thoughts into their own relationships, which is the last thing we want for them. Instead, choose to respect and appreciate your spouse, even when things aren't perfect. When your children see that you respect each other, even in times of disagreement, you're teaching them the most valuable lesson they can learn: how to handle conflict with grace. You're teaching them that love isn't about perfection, but about supporting one another through the tough times, building each other up, and finding solutions together. This is what makes relationships strong. This doesn't mean you should never voice your frustrations. It's okay to express your feelings, but it's crucial to do it in a way that doesn't undermine your spouse's dignity. If you're struggling, have those private conversations with your partner. Work through your issues behind closed doors, where your children won't hear, and where you can solve the problem together. When they see respect and love in the way you interact, even when times are tough, they'll know what a healthy relationship looks like, and that's one of the greatest gifts you can give them. If you have more than one child, you've probably noticed that each child is different. They have their own personalities, strengths, weaknesses, and ways of doing things. It can be tempting at times to compare them. You might think, why can't you be more like your sibling? Why aren't you doing things the way they do? But here's the thing. Every child is unique, and comparing them only creates unnecessary competition and emotional stress. It's not fair to them, and it doesn't help them grow. Think about how it feels when someone compares you to others. It can be frustrating, discouraging, and even hurtful. When children are compared to each other, it can damage their self-esteem and make them feel like they are always competing, never good enough. But when we celebrate each child's individuality, we send a message of acceptance and love. We show them that they are valuable just as they are, and that their uniqueness is something to be celebrated, not something to be fixed. Encouraging each child to pursue their own interests and excel in their own way fosters a sense of confidence and self-worth. Whether one child excels in academics, another in sports, or another in creativity, they all bring something special to the family. Instead of focusing on who's better, take time to celebrate what makes each child unique. Praise their efforts, their improvements, and their strengths. This helps them understand that they don't have to be like anyone else. They just need to be themselves. By avoiding comparisons, you also create a stronger, more supportive bond between your children. They'll learn to appreciate and support each other's differences, rather than feeling like they're in competition. And this, in turn, will create stronger sibling relationships and a healthier family dynamic overall. As parents, we shape our children's worldview more than we realize. The way we speak about life, whether it's our job, relationships, or even the daily struggles we face, has a profound impact on how our children perceive the world. If we constantly speak negatively about life, our frustrations, or the difficulties we encounter, our children may begin to view the world as a dark and difficult place. It's important to be mindful of how we frame our experiences. Life isn't always easy, and it's okay to talk about challenges, but we have the choice to frame those challenges with hope and optimism. When we focus on the positives, even during hard times, we teach our children resilience. We show them that life's difficulties don't define us. They're just a part of the journey. And the way we handle those difficulties is what truly matters. Instead of complaining or focusing on the negatives, try to find the silver lining. When things get tough, share how you're going to work through them. Share your goals, your hopes, and your determination. Teach them that while life has its ups and downs, it's about how we approach those downs and how we rise up that really counts. This helps your children grow up with a mindset that embraces challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than something to fear. By speaking positively about life, you're helping your children cultivate a mindset of hope and resilience. They'll learn that difficulties are temporary and that they have the strength to get through them. And when they face challenges of their own, they'll have the tools to approach them with confidence, optimism, and a can-do attitude. As we reflect on the points we've discussed, it's clear that the way we approach life and relationships has a profound impact on not only our own well-being but also on the future generations we are nurturing. By choosing gratitude over blame, showing respect for our partners, celebrating the uniqueness of each child, and speaking positively about life, we are creating an environment filled with love, understanding, and resilience. Remember, our words and actions shape the lives of those around us, especially our children. They are watching, learning, and growing based on what they see and hear from us. The choices we make today, whether in how we interact with our spouses, how we handle life's challenges, or how we raise our children, are the foundation for the type of people they will become. So, the next time you find yourself in a moment of frustration or doubt, take a step back and think about the bigger picture. Let's choose kindness, patience, and understanding instead of negativity. Let's celebrate individuality, whether in our partners or our children, and always try to see the good, even in difficult situations. By doing so, we create a cycle of positivity and strength, a legacy of love and resilience that will be passed down through the generations.